Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.
So, previously I was looking at how the tier set bonuses determine how we'll need to play, but now I've gone to have a look at other aspects of the gear. Trinkets are key to this, but also other items having a much larger impact than might otherwise have been the case. The powerful trinkets, Libram of Vindication, Discordant Chorus and Empty Drinking Horn, all benefit from haste, with Mastery having no impact at all. I've already had a moan about how Libram of Vindication is too powerful to ignore, yet is a massive pain in the arse to use whenever we have to change targets, which we'll have to do a lot in Hellfire Citadel. However, it stands to reason that given that we're going to have to change, the faster we can get those stacks up, the better. That of course favours haste for a lower cooldown on Crusader Strike, and it favours Empowered Seals because that is going to give us access to more haste. The other trinkets proc their effects from attacks. However, I don't want to say too much about this as they may be normalised. Now, to explain what I mean by that, if you have something that has a flat percentage chance to proc, then it stands to reason that players who can produce more attacks will get more procs. However, this disadvantages players who produce fewer but more powerful attacks. In order to address this, Blizzard often normalise such procs so that everyone gets roughly the same number per minute. As such, it's mainly our class trinket which will undeniably benefit most from haste, but the others will also if not normalised. So, with the stats seemingly decided upon for all our raid gear in Hellfire Citadel, I decided to set up my spreadsheet and run a few numbers to see which bits of gears I'd need. I used the stat weight Solsaska provided in his theory crafting post for 6.2 on the MMO Champion site, which I've linked in the comments below. Now, I did think that Final Verdict may get a look in because of its greater flexibility, especially on the move. Sims are great, but they don't reflect real gaming conditions. However, because of the lack of mastery available on the best pieces, and of course the effect haste has on the trinkets, Final Verdict is just falling way behind. So far behind that you cannot seriously use it, especially in mythic content, and remain competitive as things stand. Next choice would have been Seraphim. This has the advantage of on-demand bursts for fights where you tickle along until a priority ad appears and then you unleash your righteous fury upon it. Of course, that plays very well with our set bonuses, the tier set bonuses. Now, it might still be the case. However, Empowered Seals is still looking like overall favourite. Fortunately, the gear needed to get the best out of both Empowered Seals and Seraphim is looking to be the same for me when I ran my spreadsheet. In fact, our BIS list item is basically the highest item level from each slot. Now, when looking at which 4-tier pieces to take, only the chest was BIS in its own right. Of the rest, what you have to do is to see what is the theoretical DPS difference between the tier piece and the best non-tier for each slot. Now, for my money, the biggest difference was with the legs. The tier legs were just so far behind what would be the BIS off piece in that slot. So all things being equal, I'm going to go for the tier in head, shoulders, chest and hands, with the off piece being the legs. Of course, getting some items warforged or socketed or simply not getting your preferred pieces dropping will dictate what you actually wear, but this is just a guide. So in conclusion, I would say get ready for Empowered Seals, though I also think it's worth still keeping Seraphim in mind. Save your coins for later bosses, as it very much looks like highest item level is better than lower item level for virtually every slot. The trinkets a little bit different, but for virtually every other slot, not just weapons, it's looking like higher item level wins. Of the 3 trinkets, as I've said before, I don't think they're finished. I still do think Blizzard are going to do some work on them. Blizzard themselves have said that the class tuning is still not done, so there are things that could still change all this. It's just that I think the Final Verdict is just looking so very weak at the moment. Unless they really wanted to do something to make it much stronger, it's not going to be used. Okay? See you later then. I'll see what comes up in the next PTR content patch.
Trinkets, yes. Pretty trinkets.